The morning mist clung to the valley floor as David made his way down the familiar dirt path, a bucket of fresh fish swinging from his calloused hand. For 3 months now, he had performed this ritual without fail, ever since he'd stumbled upon the ancient creature sunning herself on the cliffside overlooking his farm. She was magnificent, scales like burnished copper dulled by centuries, wings that spread wider than his barn when fully extended, though she rarely bothered anymore. The dragon's eyes, however, still held that sharp intelligence that made David's spine tingle the first time they'd met. "Morning, old girl," David called out, setting the bucket down at a respectful distance. "Got some nice trout today?" "Caught them fresh this morning." The dragon, he'd taken to calling her Ember in his mind, lifted her massive head and regarded him with what he'd learned to recognize as amusement. A low rumble emanated from deep within her chest, not quite a growl, more like a purr from a creature the size of a house. What David didn't know was that 300 meters away, concealed by advanced cloaking technology, an observation post bristled with activity. "He's back again," chittered Zathorn, the insectoid head of security, his compound eyes reflecting multiple screens simultaneously. "That makes 93 consecutive days." Beside him, Lily, the senior legal counsel from the Galactic Preservation Society, adjusted her glasses and made another notation on her datapad. She was young for such a prestigious position, barely 30, with sharp features and eyes that missed nothing. "Fascinating. He doesn't know who she is, does he?" "Impossible," Zathorn clicked. "The elder matriarch's identity has been classified for 2 millennia. To most of this planet, dragons are extinct or mythological." On the cliff, David watched as Ember delicately picked fish from the bucket with surprising precision for such massive claws. He'd learned she preferred them whole, and she always ate exactly 7, no more, no less. "You know," David said, settling onto a nearby rock, "my neighbors think I'm crazy, coming out here every morning talking to myself." He chuckled. "If they knew I was feeding a dragon, they'd have me committed." Ember's eyes crinkled in what David had learned was her version of a smile. Back at the observation post, Lily reviewed centuries of data. "According to our records, no human has voluntarily cared for one of the elders in over 800 years, not since the Fracture Wars. The matriarch could incinerate him with a thought," Zathorn observed. "Yet she tolerates his presence, more than tolerates. She anticipates his arrival. My sensors detect elevated activity in her biometrics every morning at 0600 hours, precisely when he typically arrives." "Human compassion," Lily murmured, watching as David produced a worn blanket from his pack and draped it over a sun-warmed rock. "May I sit?" he asked the dragon, as he did every morning. "My knee's been acting up." Ember dipped her head in assent. "It's not logical," Zathorn protested. "He gains nothing from this exchange. She cannot pay him. She offers no protection. By all economic and social models, this behavior makes no sense." Lily smiled softly. "That's exactly what makes it remarkable. He doesn't know she's the elder matriarch, last of the celestial dragons, holder of 3 galaxy-wide peace treaties, and trustee of 17 planetary defense pacts. To him, she's just an old dragon who might be lonely." As the weeks passed, the observation team watched with growing fascination. David brought more than fish. He brought stories, tales of his small farm, his late wife, the grandchildren who rarely visited. He brought repairs, too, gently cleaning debris from between Ember's scales when she dozed, careful never to cause discomfort. "The council wants a report," Zathorn announced one morning. "They're concerned about security protocols." Lily was already drafting her response. "Tell them the matriarch is safer than she's been in centuries. Genuine human kindness is the rarest shield in the galaxy." Then came the morning that changed everything. David arrived, but his movements were slower. His breathing labored. He set down the bucket with shaking hands. Sorry, old girl, he wheezed. Doctor says my heart's given out. Might not be able to make the climb much longer. Ember rose to her full, terrible height for the first time in David's presence. He stumbled backward, fear finally crossing his features. Did I do something wrong? The dragon's throat glowed and Lily shot to her feet in the observation post. She's speaking. The matriarch hasn't spoken Galactic Standard in 3 centuries. But Ember didn't speak Galactic Standard. She spoke English, her voice like mountains grinding together. Ancient and profound. You have done everything right, David of the small farm. David's jaw dropped. You can talk? I am Emberborn of Starfire, elder matriarch of the celestial line, guardian of the third accord. She lowered her massive head until her eye was level with his. And you, human, have taught an old dragon what she had forgotten. That kindness needs no treaty, no contract, no guarantee of return. Lily and Zathorn materialized beside David, who nearly collapsed from shock. Lily caught his arm, steadying him. Mr. David, Lily said gently, the matriarch would like to discuss your retirement arrangements. We have medical technology that can repair your heart, and perhaps you'd consider a permanent position as her companion? David looked between the young lawyer, the alien security chief, and the ancient dragon who'd become his morning ritual. Will there still be fish? He asked finally. Ember's rumbling laugh echoed across the valley. Every morning, my friend, every morning. As David signed documents he didn't fully understand, granting him access to medical care beyond Earth's capabilities and a salary that made Lily wince, Zathorn leaned toward his commander and whispered, Humans are terrifying. Why? The commander asked through the comlink. Because they show kindness to dragons without knowing if the dragon will eat them or save them. They just do it anyway. Back on the cliff, David scratched under Ember's chin, and the elder matriarch of the celestial dragons, holder of treaties and guardian of worlds, purred like a contented cat. Humanity, fuck yeah.